All right, let's get into it. Today, we're going to break down a GCSE math question that can look really intimidating at first glance. But I promise you, by the end of this, you'll see it's actually 3 marks that are totally up for grabs. All right, so here it is, question 19. And right away, you see it's a mix of standard form and bounds, which, yeah, can feel a bit scary when you see them together. But don't worry, we're going to dismantle this thing piece by piece.
Okay, so with any problem like this, the first thing we've got to do is figure out what on earth is it actually asking for. Let's decode the instructions.
So, what have we got? The question gives us a whole checklist of clues. We need the lower bound of r. We've got the formula for r, which is just p divided by q. It tells us that p and q have been rounded. And, super important, our final answer has to be a normal, ordinary number rounded to the nearest integer. Every single one of these points is crucial.
So let's jump into the first part of this puzzle, finding the right bounds. And get this, just finding one of these correctly gets you your first mark. It's a great way to start.
But wait, what even are bounds? Let's quickly clear that up. Think of it like this. They're the absolute limits, the smallest and largest a number could possibly have been before someone rounded it. They define the range of possibilities. Okay, let's crunch these numbers. For p, it's 5.88, rounded to 3 significant figures. That means the accuracy is down to the second decimal place, or 0.01. We just have that, which gives us 0.005, and then we add and subtract it. That gives us a lower bound of 5.875 and an upper of 5.885. Now for q, it's 3.6, to 2 significant figures. The accuracy is the first decimal place, 0.1. Have it, you get 0.05. Add and subtract that, and you've got your bounds, 3.55 and 3.65. And that standard form part, it just tags along for the ride.
And boom, just like that, you've got your first mark. Seriously, the official mark scheme says if you write down any one of those 4 bounds we just found, you get the B1 mark. That's a third of the way there already. Awesome.
All right, 1 mark down. Now, how do we get the rest? We're going to use the official mark scheme as our guide. It's like having the answers before you even start. See, on one side, we have our question. On the other, the answer key. This is our blueprint for success. It tells us exactly what the examiner wants to see to give us those marks. So the plan is super simple, broken down into 3 marks. We've already bagged the B1 for finding a bound. Next up is the M1 for using the right method. And finally, the A1 for the accurate answer. Let's go get that M1. Okay, this next bit is absolutely key. It's the whole secret to getting the method mark. Think about it. If you want to make a fraction as small as possible, what do? You need the smallest number you can get for the top and divide it by the biggest number you can for the bottom. So for us, that means lower bound of p divided by the upper bound of q. Okay, we've got our strategy, we know the secret rule, and we've got our numbers. Let's put it all together and get this done.
I'm going to say it again because it's that important. To get the smallest possible answer from a division, you take the smallest number on top and divide it by the biggest number on the bottom. Smallest p, largest q. Got it? Good.
And this right here, this is the line of work that makes the examiner nod and give you that method mark. We've taken our lower bound for p, our upper bound for q, and plugged them straight into the formula. Perfect. That's your M1 locked in. All right, time for the calculator. You punch in those numbers, hit equals, and what do we get? This big, long decimal number. Now, hold on. Don't just write this down and move on. We are so close, but we have to check the question's instructions one last time. Okay, final step. We've done the hard math. Now it's all about presentation to lock in that final accuracy mark, the A1. So let's go back to that checklist from the start. What did it say? It has to be an ordinary number, and it has to be rounded to the nearest integer. Well, our number is 1609.589, and that 0.5 tells us everything we need to know we need to round up. And that gives us 1,610. That is the final answer. It ticks all the boxes. That's your A1 mark. 3 marks in the bag, job done. But hang on, let's end with a little pro tip here. You might notice the official mark scheme actually accepts 1609 or 1610. So why is that? Well, it's all about how you interpret that upper bound. Technically, 3.65 is the very beginning of what would round up. Some people might use 3.649 recurring as the true upper limit. If you use that, your answer is just a tiny bit bigger, and it also rounds to 1610.
The examiners know this, so they allow for that subtle difference. Understanding that is when you've really mastered bounds.
Thanks for joining me.